Hey guys, so I'm gonna show the installation of the Modify pin kit from homedefense24.com. There are no directions for it, but it would appear to be pretty straightforward. So pin, I'm going to use a 1/16 inch punch. And what you have to do is just remove your puncture cap. Just set this aside. So if you look at it, you have to knock the pin out. And it's actually quite obvious which direction it goes because it's smaller on one side than it is on the other. So it can only come out one direction. So you have to knock it from the small side using a, like I said, I'm going to use a 1/16 inch punch. Knock the pin out, and then we'll see what happens inside there because I don't know either. So I'm just going to use something soft here just to knock this against. Again, we're going to go small side. Excuse me if it's hard to see, but I am trying to, oh, and that actually pushed through rather easily, so it didn't take much effort at all. You can see there, I'm just pushing the drive pin out. Now, what I don't know what's gonna happen is take this apart. Is it gonna fly everywhere? So take the push pin out. I'm just going to slowly separate this like that, and wow, it is really simple. So you can see that's the end of your puncture pin there. It's got the hole where the pin goes through, so I'm just going to slip that out of there. And it doesn't slip right out, so we'll keep trying here. What are we doing wrong? Ah, it looks like it actually goes out the front. So I'll take the spring off and we will push the puncture pin out. So it looks like there's, I don't know if that's a rubber seal there, but it looks like, no, it's not a rubber seal. It would appear there is some sort of O-ring in there. And this puncture pin seems to have a little lubrication on it, so prior to install, I'm going to do the same, pardon me, to this pin to give it a fighting chance. Now, I mean, obviously you're lubing your CO2 every time, so it's probably not an issue, but being this pin is brand new, I'll throw some silicone lube on it. Oh, how about a lot of silicone lube? All right, so obviously installation would be the reverse. Pin goes down from inside the valve, or inside the, yeah, we'll call that the valve. The cap. The puncture cap. So there you go. It's fitted down inside, just like that. We will place the spring. May as well use up some of that oil that's on my fingers. Probably not necessary, but place the spring back in. And align the two, oh yeah, well here we go. So what you want to do is have this pin oriented so so that when these two halves meet up, it goes square through. Hopefully I'm catching all this. And I can see it kind of slipped out there. Okay, so I've got it mostly aligned. I can probably actually use this punch that I have here. That way I know it actually, the pin's aligned, at least fairly closely. Take my drive pin, put it back through. And you can see it slipped in there pretty easily, so, but it's clearly not pushed all the way through, because when this was factory, you could see just the bulge there. So I'll give it another little whack here. I'm actually gonna use a thicker pin, or sorry, a thicker punch to do this. Just makes it a little bit easier to hit the target. Again, sorry, my fingers are covering this up, but kind of a necessity. I actually don't even need that to do this part, so. Let's see, did that go? Probably one more tap. One more for good measure. Can't hurt. All right, so that pin is flush on that side, and you can see on this side it's not protruding, and it can't, I don't believe, because this hole is actually smaller, but it's bottomed out. New puncture pin is installed, and testing to follow. So unfortunately my riot balls were delayed until Monday, which would be tomorrow. So you'll just have to stay tuned for that initial testing before what I'm going to do is actually use this non-modified puncture cap first, and then I will switch to this, and then the delete, then the valve block delete, then the restrictor delete. I'm kind of going to go through the whole process just to see where the sweet spot is. That's it.